Let's get some more analysis now and cross to the Turkish capital, Ankara, and speak to Betul Dogan Akkas. She is an assistant professor of Middle East Studies at Ankara University. It's an absolute pleasure having you on the program. So we've seen the same scenario before where Netanyahu, in this case Trump, presents a plan. And there's a lot of international condemnation, but little is being done to prevent that plan from coming to life. What's your analysis on Trump's remarks and the reaction to it?
Unfortunately, as many people commenting on the current war in Gaza mentions, this is actually quite unacceptable, and there is no way to digest what he said so far on his recent proposal to Gaza. It might have an outcome for three reasons. The first one is, of course, the future of his legitimacy on policymaking in Middle East. He is now newly re-elected, and what we are supposed to expect from his new era is it really that unbelievable and unbelievable comments on a very critical ongoing war in Middle East, and what to expect from his overall policymaking towards Middle East after his comments. The second aspect, in addition to his role as an U.S. president and U.S. foreign policymaking in the Middle East, he is bringing other states to his proposal. He mentions about Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and other Middle East powers like Jordan. Is he in a position to comment on other states' foreign policymaking, kind of claiming their potential role in this current proposal? And what we have seen in the last week, all these countries actually kind of responded his commands, and they said they have nothing to do with it, and they are just supporting two-state solution, which is the overall plan. And Palestinians are not the one who bombed Gaza, so because it has been in a position supported by U.S. foreign policy making, then they have to take a constructive role rather than having this proposal. The third aspect is the overall legitimacy of ongoing Israeli occupation in Gaza. So, as if we have seen all these things out of a sudden, as if one day we woke up and we have seen Gaza in this position. He mentions of a distracted city in a place. He mentions nobody can live in a peace, etc. Who has done this? Who has been part of that occupation, that violence since decades, not only for this war? So this is why kind of the personality that he's proposing for the Middle East as a leader, that's a big problem.
Well, there is a very fragile ceasefire that's in place. Negotiations for the second phase are currently underway. But the far right, as our correspondent Mohammed Al-Qasim mentioned, is insisting on continuing the war. What would it mean for both the Palestinians in Gaza and resolve through diplomacy if phase two doesn't come to life?
So Israel has all the superiority in the war. They have the equipments, they have international backing, they have a society which has this a general tendency to support a state response to so-called insecurity issues in Israel, etc. All these advantages, so-called advantages, of course, of Israeli state is quite visible, but they couldn't reach the outcome they would like to have in Gaza in the war, which means despite all these limited support from international community, despite not having a proper state, a proper army, a proper resistance, Gazans, they never left their homes. So this is not because they would like to fight. No, everyone in this city, they would like to live in a peace, but this is the only way that they can seek peace in this international turmoil, that they are not backed properly. So that's why I think socially and politically, no one from these parties actually supporting a further decision, a war to bring further problems to their society. Now we are again going back to summer, spring. The weather will be easier for the people in Gaza because they are mostly living in the tents. But this doesn't mean that they would like to go through another wave of war. But the problem, once those policymakers, international community, US, Israeli political elites or anyone involved from Palestinian side that could have a say in it. Once they couldn't reach a proper outcome in terms of a long-term ceasefire or a proper peace solution, bringing a two-state solution to it, then of course the war will continue. So this is not now at the hand of people, and international community, the
Right.
regional parties, they have to handle it. I don't know how exactly, but they have to handle it, and they have to clean up this space from radical policymakers, from marginal views like Trump proposed, rather than bringing back a rationality to the war, the solution.
Okay, Professor Betul Dogan Akkas, thank you so much for being with me here on the News Hour and sharing that analysis with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.